Hello, and welcome back to Strange Hungers. We begin Arc 3
Arc
of our
3!
dark story.
Ooh, ooh.
Last we left off, the Fulcrum Expedition managed to finally escape from the psionic dungeon in the depths of Tazriel's mind. After some strange farewells to memory versions of people they had once known, and overcoming the demons that were trying to attack them within this astral mindscape, they returned to find the ship, the Guild Star, captained solely by Darren, Awaish's animated spellbook. As the crew awoke, they narrowly avoided a ongoing crash into an iceberg and navigated their way through the floating drifts, the ice sheets of the Vectol Ocean, finally seeing ahead on the horizon the massive smoking white landscape of Valkyrie, the Frostlands, guided in as it draws towards late afternoon and evening by the light of a lighthouse. You have what seems to be about another day's travel or so to actually reach the continent. All you can see is that light passing over the horizon, but now that you've exited this section of the ice sheets, other boats are sailing their way towards Valkyrie as well. You can make out hills in the distance. This landscape is dotted with dark shapes, but not much more than that. The waters are mostly still for the moment. It seems like the presence of these ice sheets and the continent ahead has led to a calmer atmosphere than you've mostly been facing. It is cold, a kind of cold that you now realize you will not escape, not for many, many weeks or months. A cold that will only grow stronger, reaching underneath your clothes, your warm jackets, through your tents, to steal whatever warmth you can hide away from it. Welcome to the Wastes Expedition.
Woo! Last time we ended on is a sunset thing. I wasn't gonna do anything until probably the next morning because I'm on sentry duty.
Sentry duty.
I think
Kiara was on the deck, I believe. Right?
Kiara,
Seeing this?
Tazriel, and Novel.
Yes.
Yes.
Arden had actually gone below decks because she was like, I don't think I can do any good with Taz right now. Kiara.
Yeah, whereas Kiara was having a great old conversation with the fluffy monster. This one. That's where we left off.
Yes. Agnita, after pointing out this horizon, I think the presence of your patron has faded, mostly just leaving you with that kind of familiar weight upon your shoulders that you're growing used to now, a little bit of a stronger presence as you are growing into your powers. The crew has been whispering among themselves. I think all of you have noticed at this point, even those of you who might not, well, maybe not Awish, but all of you who have been out and about have noticed that they are talking amongst themselves. Seem to be, there's this eager atmosphere as well, now that they are close to their destination. And you see that Asar has traded up for his usual position back in the crow's nest. Kind of waves down at you as he points and then finally calls out for everyone to hear, "Land!"
I think Kiara's already there, so I think she just bounces up and down a little bit, be like, woo!
That was so much longer than I thought it would be.
Honestly, it felt like months.
But normally we get to places so much faster because we can actually fly or, go underwater and avoid whatever that big decaying thing was. But Drock, and you see Drock also kind of step out from their cabin now. They've got their big hat on, and they've added another few layers over top of their usual coat. They've got these colorful fabrics and scarves that are draped around and over, and then sort of belting the coat at the waist, as well as this sort of like thick satchel roll. Looks like a sleeping bag that they've kind of strapped to their coat. And steps over to Yukiar, where you are on the prow here. Well, I guess we're going to be saying some farewell soon.
I mean, you don't have to. You could come with us.
Do you plan on dragging my ship across the ice?
Well, I mean, honestly, I should not be the one to talk. I have no idea what's out there. Maybe if there's like more water, we can do that. But you would know more than me. Are we out of water now?
I think we will be soon. There are, as far as I've heard, some places where cracks in the ice sheets that make up some of the further north sections of the continent might allow for sailing, but this section of Valkyrie is actual ground. The Guildstar will be unable to join you, at least for longer than a day.
It was nice having so many people around for a little bit.
Well, you are not going to be seeing as many in the Frostlands, I assume, but there are notable organizations and towns and cities. I've not traveled there much myself.
Oh, any you would recommend?
I've known some folks who come from Blighthelm,
Lighttown. Ooh, sounds dramatic.
doesn't it? But they don't say much about where they're from. Mostly that it's a shelter from the elements. People who leave there do not seem eager to return.
My god. What have we signed up for? Should I be regretting what we just did?
They kind of look over you and smile a little. It's too late to go back now. Unfortunately, we're not heading back to Skyhome after this.
No, it'll be okay. Everybody's wonderful and strong, and it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yara, was it one of your party that was responsible for my ship nearly smashing to pieces?
Didn't roll for that, aren't I?
Taz
If you wanna
admitted to
give
it
me-
already, right?
Yeah, I admitted that out loud. I was like, no, it's
Oh.
me.
Oh, you did? Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
You did
I
say
said
that. I
it.
forget.
No
Okay.
worries.
About that.
Okay.
Walking that back. Drock does not say that. Instead says, I'm a little bit glad that the person responsible for my ship nearly breaking to pieces will be departing. But you have mostly been decent guests.
Well, I know he's very sorry about that, but I also know that it wasn't his fault. You know, sometimes these things just happen.
Apparently so.
I need to stop watching the rest of everybody.
I'm so sorry. These things happen. You go into a psychic dungeon, you get a talking sword. What else is new?
Listen,
But you might want to tell
Sorry,
your
go ahead.
group to start gathering their things.
oh, yes, on it. But, if it helps, the weird things that happen kind of make me feel like we might have a better chance of being a-okay out there.
Mhm. I'm surprised, actually. I've heard of this journey taking longer. I think we must have been blessed in some way.
Okay.
But
You just had a
perhaps
brain.
it's the amount of time we spent sailing underwater. I think we managed to avoid most of the obstacles, even despite that storm.
I should tell us. I should tell Asar that. Uh, but okay. I'll go wake everybody up and tell them to pack. And
Yeah,
Kiara will do that.
I think we might end up dropping anchor for a little bit, since even with the strange sleep, I don't want to sail through the night and arrive quite tired.
Good idea. It's always better to arrive fresh. Especially after that one time we went to a town and got attacked by a bone priest. Yeah.
Yeah,
Arrive fresh.
that. Okay, I'm going to go make sure that my crew are prepared.
I'm sorry.
Yara.
Talking to the worst person.
Below decks. Barden, you said you had kind of squirreled off. Where are you going? Novel. Or Barden, I guess you are currently in disguise.
Barden is currently going back to Kiara. They're in Kiara's room. Because a lot has happened, but they haven't really focused on the fact that they now have a sword that talks and is probably mythical, and they haven't really had a chance to dig into that, so they want to do that. Basically, Barden is gonna, I think after a second, takes the scarf off their neck, puts it around the doorknob, like, I think this is what they did in uni in Corinth to stop people from coming in, and closed it and puts a chair in front just in case, just like they'll understand, and sits on the bed and pulls Titan's Wrath from her back and lays it across her lap, and then is like, Sergeant Beloyd, would you like to sit by yourself? Is that are you there?
I am content in your grasp, sire.
You can call me Novel if you like.
Novel?
Yes. I know you're called the Titan's Wrath, but is that the name you like?
That is my name and my purpose.
Your purpose is to be the Wrath of Titan? The Wrath of the Moon?
To bring the light of the moon to the darkest of places.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess, how, do you know how long you've been sleeping? I woke you up, but...
I have drowsed a long time, stirring for those moments that I felt my purpose reignite. A long, long time.
Goodness. Have probably a bit egotistical, but has anything I've done that?
Yes.
Just brightest smile. Just, oh, that's wonderful. That's great. So you've been asleep, you've been drowsing for hundreds of years? Okay, this is my main question. Who last bore you? Who last held you?
You, sire.
Uh, I'm only 28. Can I roll to see if I make the connection? I mean,
Make
I know what I think.
make an intelligence check.
Yeah. I'm 28. I don't freaking know. Let me look. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's a 17.
This sword doesn't have visible eyes, but you do greatly resemble a hero of renown.
Do you mean Feverfew?
That is your name.
I'm really sorry to tell you, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not her. I'm sorry if you knew her well, and if you were by her side, you must have known each other, but I'm afraid she's...
I was forged for you.
Nolfa was really sad for this sword. Okay, it was in the Northern Skyhome? Dwarves, maybe? I was doing some research on you. And that's what you look like Northern make. Who
Yes.
forged you?
Rar Blightsteel.
Do I recognize that name?
No. Blightsteel? Yes. You might have heard reference to a few weapons made of Blightsteel. This is a particular kind of metal that's made with a combination of some like hardened ice material that can only be found in Valkyrie, and then forged in Upper Skyhome, usually. I don't think you're not a blacksmith, and as much as you are a researcher, you are not particularly proficient in knowing the make of weapons. So Blightsteel, that's as far as you know. You've just heard of like Blightsteel weaponry.
Okay. Toyden's Wrath. Could you tell me what I was like back then? What did you think of me?
Your grace and your strength was a shield to the masses.
She was real. She was real. Is there... Were you with Feverfew? When did you leave her hand? What happened?
Drowsed for a long time. You see the sort of tip of the blade glow, where the silver metal is more bronze and gold in color. Your hand is the last touch I know.
Titan's Wrath. I'm telling the truth. Okay, I'm not her. I may look like her, but I'm not. I'm sorry.
The sword's light, those glowing eyes on the hilt, kind of dims and flickers a little bit, like a candle. I have tasted the blood you have shed in defense of your guard. I have seen through a clouded mind the darkness that you face. Your purpose is true. You are
Clouded.
my bearer, sire.
I think Noble realizes that they're not going to get past this single-minded being and just, okay, I promise that I'm going to do my best and continue what she started and be the best guardian that I can. Okay?
As you swear.
I swear. Do you?
My promise is forged into every part of me.
Okay. If it's okay, I might have other questions another time. Is that okay?
Yes.
I like talking to you. You've got a very nice voice.
Thank you. Thank you. You feel sort of a sense of pride. But you can tell that it's not your pride, it's the emotions of the sword.
That's really cute. I think Barden, takes that in and is just like,
Mhm.
yeah, we're gonna do great things. We're gonna do good.
Also, out of character, Shan, from talking to this weapon a little bit more, I'll say that you know would know mostly as a player, it seems like the sword is fairly charismatic, but is not very intelligent.
So it can charm. That has no brain.
Yes.
Wait, my sword is a
Himbo
bard?
sword. Himbo sword.
Himbo sword.
Bimbo sword.
Bimbo.
Bimbo sword.
Oh wait, is it a feminine voice?
Oh yes.
Shimbo.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Bam sword.
Shimbos
Yeah, okay.
unite! Sorry, that's not
Yes.
Shimbo on this
Girl
stream.
power.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for updating me with that.
Mhm.
I think Bardo would then be like, okay, if it's all right. Okay, I need to ask this question. When I sharpen you, that doesn't hurt, does it? That's a good
No.
thing. Does it feel nice?
I know you sustain wounds. And that disheartens me. But it would be difficult for me to hurt.
Well, it's nice to ask anyway. I'll ask. I'll keep asking. You know, it's nice. Nicer.
I can grow weary, but as you've done, the taste of that light sustains me.
Also, I'll keep bathing you in moonlight, and that'll keep you juiced up, keep you awake. Yeah? Oh, you
I
must
think
have been
so.
in the dark to be sleeping.
There are times where my sleeping helps.
How so?
You see the light of the sword dim by itself.
Oh, the
Mm-hmm. and the metal grows sort of that darker color that you're familiar with. You know that having your sword in this particular state does grant you some different benefits and allow you to use different powers than when it is fully alight. But the voice that you're hearing and the emotion that you're feeling dampen as you do this.
Isabel, that my brain just thought of, like, you know, when you put a blanket over a cocktails cage? It's like,
It's like that, yeah.
babe, shh, baby. Just, okay. That's good to know. I want to make sure you're okay. I've been trying to keep your upkeep best I can. I mean, before you're awake. But I'm glad to know I'm doing okay. I hope that we can be, you know, good companions. Look after each other. Yeah?
There's just a little bit more of that faint kind of humming music from the dim sword.
I'll take that as a yes. And that's me.
Mm-hmm. Oesh and Matthias.
Yeah, what's up?
How are you feeling, Oesh?
Not good, Chief. Awish was irresponsible and did a bad. Which is that they're not supposed to cast when they are going through difficult times. So since that last spell and they caught sight of the lighthouse and the land further ahead, Awesh lost consciousness, but not in a fun, cool, peaceful way. Matthias has been having to deal with a lot of murmured words, distress, difficulty, and then at certain points has had to, at Darren's request, because he's a special, lovely little boy, come over and heal Awish when they appeared to stop breathing. And whenever they came to, Matthias, they would seem to be really out of it, not quite know where they were or who you were, and they would beg you to stop coming because their family couldn't afford you. That's where they've been. What's Matthias been doing?
Well, beyond doing that, I mean, it's hard to not want to, like, hover. And I think that, to avoid hovering, he's brought things with him, and he brought things to do while this was all going on, and he just bends himself to that task. He has an expanse of leather in front of him that he is, like, been slowly throughout the night. He is measuring, cutting it, doing a little bit of needlework, and just, like, putting together something with this. But it's hard not to get distracted every once in a while. But he tries to stay on his side of the room at the door.
I think maybe, and we can, like, wait for this to happen for timeline shit, but I think Awesh would probably, like, actually wake up 6 hours after that point, somewhere around there. You're muted, Alex.
You had been sailing through the ice to get to this point where you see the wastes for multiple hours, so it makes sense that since the actual awakening after the dream and the majority of this day that you've spent as it's coasting towards evening, this could have happened at any point, this, like, awakening, or it might happen an hour or so after, the crew and their preparations and these conversations that are happening between Drock and Kiara and Barden and their sword are happening as the crew is preparing for dropping anchor. So
Good stuff. Wage wakes up with a level of exhaustion.
Morning now. Yes?
Morning, I think.
Cool.
Sure.
And doesn't stir too much at first, just kind of like pokes out their mind towards Darren before doing anything else. Kind of establish that they are, in fact, in the correct moment at the correct consciousness.
here.
Fuck.
I promise I only left because the ship needed me.
I know you're fine. You're not the one I'm angry at.
Should I have kicked him out before?
No.
He seemed to be helping.
Just give me a moment.
Okay.
And
Kind of uncurls a little bit from around you.
yeah, we've just been having this conversation in their head, but stirs after a moment and then says, Matthias.
If it's morning,
Sleepy?
perhaps he is leaning back against the door, probably with like head tilted back, mouth open. Terrible. Looks awful.
Snorking.
Snorking.
I'll say this is most likely kind of right before dawn. This wouldn't be
Okay.
like hearty into morning, like
Also,
midnight.
I don't want to fuck with the flow of the scene, but I know this is what I was saying about timeline. I know that we've like skipped into morning. Did Tazriel do anything in the night? Do we want to like pop back in time later, or?
I'd rather you guys have this conversation. Let's
yeah.
just say that this takes place probably about 2 hours before sunrise, and then
Cool.
I will step back to Tazriel and the rest of the crew.
Fuck yeah. Yeah,
He's-
snorking Matthias.
Yeah, he fully does, but when she like says his name, he fully does the like jump and a little snort, and tips forward. Oh. Yes. Yoish. You're back. Are you back?
Can you help me with something?
Yes. What? He stands immediately and comes over.
There is something I can do, but I can't currently sit up to do it.
Do you need a hand? He just like offers a hand down, like towards them.
They look just... Oh, they hate asking for this kind of help so much. But they, with a great deal of effort, reach up and get their hand around yours.
Yeah. He'll lean down and like beyond just
For
like
comfort.
grabbing their hand, I think can probably tell that it's a little rougher than just that, and is going to like pull their shoulder up from the forearm and then slide a hand underneath and help them sit up straight.
Yeah. And very slowly they start to cast their unseen servant because they're totally out of spell slots, but that one's a ritual, so they're going to start trying to do that. And they, after a moment of concentration, specifically 10 minutes of it, their unseen
He sits
servant
on the
comes
bed.
on out. Yeah. And just starts to like fix, because they look haggard and tired and their hair is a mess and it's very embarrassing for them. So the unseen servant kind of gets to work fixing them up, and after a few moments, Awaish clears their throat a bit uncomfortably and says, "So, thank you."
Matthias has a water skin and just offers it to them.
Yeah, they take it. Take a drink. They've got Mage Hand, Unseen Servant at this point. They're okay. And then... So... I suppose you won't be wanting me to join this mission anymore. But I am prepared to offer you an argument as to why I should still be allowed to join.
How often does this happen?
Only this badly once a year. Sometimes other times, but not as strongly.
If this only happens once a year, I see no danger in you continuing with us, Awaish. There's no reason on my part for you to leave. In fact, I would be very sad to see you go. If you would not like to join us anymore, that is another thing entirely, and I respect your wishes. I would still be sad. But I won't lie to you, obviously, if this is a very difficult thing to deal with, and I very much appreciate you letting me be around during it. If it is something that only happens once a year, we have a year. And a year is more than enough time to find... God willing, we won't be in the wastes for a year. But a year is more than enough time to find a place where this can happen.
I can't promise that something similar won't happen.
Even so, we have a group that is more than capable, and you have me, should you wish to have me there. And we can do this, and we can make this work. If you wish it. Your skills are invaluable.
Oish, who is a mask of ice at all times in their life, looks. As you look at them, there is just a hint of a tear in their eye.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh no. Oh no.
And they just very abruptly say, "In a past life, I was a criminal." I have a good deal of people who, if they were to know of my existence here, they would not be happy. I am a difficult person. I know this. I often will forego convention in pursuit of knowledge, and I want money very badly. I tell you all these things because I do not wish you to need to discover things about me at times when they are inconvenient to discover. Best to tell them now.
These are all difficult things.
But I will devote myself to this cause and this mission and to your leadership.
These are all difficult things. And I have seen you be devoted to the protection of the people around you. And unerring in your desire to understand more and your skill in acquiring that information beyond just being a person who I respect very much, Awesh. I think that we would be worse off for not having you here. And so if you're telling me this to try and convince me to turn you away, I won't lie. There are some things that I will need some clarification on.
Now is the time for that. I don't tell you these things to try to scare you away. I do not want to be abandoned out in the wastes due to some detail that I had failed to disclose.
All right. What do you... I need to know what you require from us and from me to ensure that whatever connections you may have, based on what you just told me, to ensure that they do not threaten us, you, or the rest of the group, while we're here.
They gesture down, kind of like with an incline of their head to the pendant that is still around their neck, and they say, as long as I wear this and Neve wears her own, they should not be able to find us. Beyond that, if you ever see a blue elf with a fucking insufferable smile, shoot before asking questions.
Noted.
Actually, God, fuck. Take the motherfucker prisoner.
Not Asar.
If I were in better shape, I would punish you for saying his smile were insufferable.
I just wanted to make sure. I've seen you two interact. I don't know, maybe you think that it's insufferable. I don't want to assume. Just kidding. Every day I learn new things about the people in this group.
Matthias, cursed with knowledge.
Cursed with knowledge.
And not enough brain to bear it.
Not enough brain to bear it. He falls silent for a little bit and chews on the inside of his lip.
Awash definitely, is waiting for you and then dozes off a little, and then when you go to speak again, they're like, oh, fuck. And they wake back up.
I did notice that you seemed to pick up some abilities from that priest.
Yes.
After it happened. I assume that is connected to your unorthodox pursuit of knowledge.
I don't. I suppose others may see it as unorthodox. I would say what do you know about the study of magic, Matthias?
I know
You have some of your own?
I do have some, but I know very little when it comes to the study of arcane arts.
Some are born with it. Some get it through a blessing or a pledge. And some study. Those who study are often relegated to creating what their forebearers have already set forward for them. About 10 years into my own study, I discovered that I did not need to have such a limitation.
All right.
Magic has no orthodoxy. I can simply take more than others can.
I'd like you to tell me more about your past so that I can get a general sense of what I'm looking at. And I would like to hear more about exactly what you mean when you talk about your relationship with magic. As long as I think it would take some very extreme circumstances for me to abandon you in the wastes. And as long as you aren't trying to kill any of us undeservedly. Then
I appreciate the distinction.
there are always factors.
When I encounter a new type of magic or ability, I want to take it apart. I want to know how it works, where it is tied into the weave, what it means. Sometimes, when I take it apart in such a way, I realize it is useful to me. A critical miss.
Thanks for the raid.
Thank you for the raid.
Thank you for the raid.
And so I use it. Sometimes in a spell I already know. Sometimes in a new way. That is all it is.
There are many, many sources of magic in all of its forms in the wastes. You know how
Yes.
I've gotten some of these scars. Sorry.
I need a joke. Sorry.
Little joke.
Whew. Impulsive thought.
There's danger to interacting with them. And there are things that I, as a member of my order, have to protect. And that includes many of the sources of that magic.
You would bar others from accessing it, even if it were necessary to save the earth you lived on?
I am guided by something that goes beyond me, and I do what it deems is necessary.
I will make you this promise. If you will make me one in return. I will trust your guidance and your command. If you promise that when the time comes, you will try to trust mine. I do not take greedily. This world is being eaten. Destroyed. Also, a witch does not know the world is... They don't know that shit, but they're using a metaphor. And I have a great investment in its continuation. There's not much I will not do to ensure that.
And to be pretty invested myself.
I wouldn't have known.
I
I'm
don't.
joking, Matthias.
I don't know. I don't know how our different approaches will interact later. But I can promise that I will I trust you now. And so long as nothing world-breaking happens in the next months, presumably, that we're in the wastes, I will trust you in the future.
Good.
I said the word promise, so you have to say it back.
I promise.
Okay.
Could you, could you send in Neve? She and I have not been on the best footing, and I would like to try to repair that.
I'll see if she's awake.
Thank you.
He, does a little pat on their hand
Pet.
and nods and
Oh my
stands.
God.
And
They, at his pet, at the first pet, they actually do reach up and just like it's not very strong, but squeeze his hand a little bit and then let him go.
he's gonna go gather his things. He's gonna go see if Neva's awake. I know it's early as fuck, but we'll see if they're
You will
awake.
find out if Neve is awake after, I think. Why don't we do a little break and then we'll come back on Tazriel.
Little break? Okay. Alright, we'll be back, everybody. How about that?
Ooh.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to Strange Hungers. Whew, I just got roasted within an inch of my life. Anyway, back on the Guild Star. Anyway, back at it again with the Guild Star.
No. That meme died years ago. And you have unearthed its fucking juicy rotten corpse and dragged it back to us.
I feel like that's very in character for this campaign.
Ugh.
Okay.
Ugh.
Asriel, the evening before all of this, as the crew is preparing to drop anchor, you see a number of other ships are doing this as well. You're not within, I would say, enough distance of any of them to see their names, but you do make out a variety of different colors of sails and styles. A lot of these hardy metal ships as well, sort of these thicker ones that are billowing out clouds of dark smoke. What are you doing?
I think Taz is gonna go try and find a big bottle of liquor and 2 glasses. Maybe some, I don't know, whatever you decide on the ship, Alex. He'll just
Definitely something that is akin to rum.
Oh, excellent. I was literally about to be like, do some rum. He'll just grab it and like leave a coin or something.
Now,
I don't know.
Here is the funny thing, Tazriel.
Oh God.
Is that you do know that the kitchen is the domain
Oh, that's right.
of one particular character. So if you're going snooping around in the liquor stores, you tell me if you are checking below decks, like where a bunch of the crates and like the animals are, or if you're checking the mid deck where the kitchen is.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me that. What is actually going to happen is Taz is going to go to the kitchen, assuming something needs to be made for dinner and stuff, and offer to help or whatnot, and then afterwards, find Atari and say, "Can I buy you a drink?"
She is very pleased for your help with dinner, and the rest of the crew, those among you, of course, Novel and Kiara, and maybe Matthias if you had gone the previous evening to get a quick bite or have someone bring you something. The atmosphere of the crew dining together, people are kind of coming in and out since they're working, but Atari, with Tazriel's help, does make sort of a celebratory meal. It seems like they might be stopping in, if there is some kind of port on the edge of Valkyrie, they might be refueling a little bit in terms of their food stores. So there is meat. They're also planning on selling some of the livestock, obviously. So we'll fetch a pretty penny. Anyway, you have helped her prepare a fairly delicious dinner. And then at that word, as most people are kind of clearing out, and I think probably be Pora has finished just helping clean off some of this area. I would be delighted.
I think Taz will I don't know, pull out 10 gold and then go fetch he's not it's not like he's looking for the best tasting rum here or anything. He's just looking for one that's hasn't been opened, just the fullest one.
You make your way down to the furthest below deck, where you might have seen as you were passing in and out of that downstairs area that connects to the sort of porthole on the bottom where you can go into the water. You find a number of bottles that you'd seen on a shelf, and it seems like Folkley is down here still. You hadn't really noticed her before, but she seems to have been kind of checking over a lot of the goods, making sure they weren't damaged. Things are being restrapped down. Some of the repairs that you all were working on, sort of on the mid deck and the below deck, seem to be holding for the time being. So she's just kind of sitting cross-legged on one of these crates and closing her eyes, concentrating. Her hair is kind of lifted up around her a bit, like there's some kind of magical essence that's happening here. You just kind of grab the bottle, leave the coins, and she looks up, but you can see there's no pupils in her eyes as she looks at you. They're just kind of glowing with this soft white light, but nods and then returns back to the position.
Taz will head back upstairs and just grab two glasses of four.
Since this is the last time that you are going to be, one of the last times likely that you're going to be below decks on the Guild Star, and since you're a pretty, perceptive individual, Tazriel, would you like to make some kind of perception or investigation check since you're just looking down here?
Hell yeah. Investigation, Alex. No question. Oh, that's actually 26.
Nice. Excellent. Especially considering you've kind of understood that these are pirates and that you have had a number of dealings with unsavory folk, more in Abjor River pirates to be precise. You do have kind of an eye for where stolen goods might be stashed. What are you saying?
They're upstanding citizens. How
Listen,
dare you?
I wasn't gonna say unsavory. I don't think our pirate friends are unsavory. They are criminal. Unsavory. It's a little rough.
As you're just looking around down here for some of the bottles of liquor, you note that it seems you kind of already realize that there are sections of this area that are smaller than the actual boat would be, and there's these curtains that are hung, and there's Asara's kind of laboratory and all of this stuff. You actually find there's sort of this lattice thing where the bottles are pushed through, right? Like wine bottles and rum bottles and liquor bottles and all of that. Behind the lattice, there's this thin kind of plywood material, and as you're pushing on one of the bottles, you kind of push it back a little bit, and you realize there's another smaller false wall behind where the liquor is. With that high investigation, there's also, you realize that there's kind of a scent that's almost masked by the liquor smell here, like that scent of wine, etc. This kind of strange, almost spiced smell, like they're transporting some kind of material back behind that wall.
Oh god. God, Taz is so fucking nosy. Yeah, you know what? I think he'd try to stealth about it and go and be nosy about it.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Wait, hold on, Alex. Is he actually gonna do this? Yep, yes he is. Yes he is. Why can't I count? It's literally 10 plus 24.
Yes, Folkley's rolling with disadvantage since she's not focused on the boat. She's doing something else. So you don't think that they are paying any attention to you. You can kind of slip your hand behind the plywood wall, kind of put it through the lattice and then slide it back a little bit. And you see there's this very neatly organized rack of these little metal hooks. And there are pouches that are hung from the different hooks, various different sizes and also different labels. A few you recognize, they're called Deli Ball. It's this kind of honey material. There's a label that says that is often used for enchanting, magical healing as a magical component. You recognize, what's it called? Spine salt, which is one of the rarest and most valuable salts that comes from Skyhome. It's the kind that can be used as a replacement for magical components. But as there are some stranger components as well. You see powdered fang is on there. You see I think it's gattertooth poison, and a few more of them that have that little warning label for poison. Blackroot you see, a few dried petals, things like that. Seems like they have a deep stash here of alchemical supplies, poisons, and magical materials.
How do I have any inkling how much the spine salt might be worth?
More than its weight in gold. You gonna steal from these pirates?
I'm really considering stealing and giving it to Oish. I'm really considering it.
You are aware that no one, as far as you can tell, and you got a 26 on investigation and a 24 on your stealth, you are absolutely confident that no one is going to witness you taking this.
You know,
I'll tell you that straight.
I think if you asked for this, they would give it to you, so you can go ahead and take it. It's basically just skipping the first step.
Excuse me.
They would give it to you?
They would give it to you?
Yeah. No, I think that if you asked, they would give it to
man
you.
and said, I don't have any money, but can I have your best weed? They'd be like, sure.
No, I think that based off of our performance on this ship, they would for sure give it to you.
He is
If
going
you
to do
want
it.
as well, I'll give you another roll. Give me, this would be, let's say history, to tell you what the most valuable material here is.
Nah, I got a 7.
A 7?
I got a 7.
A 7? Okay, then to your knowledge, spine salt is one of the most valuable. Some of the other alchemical supplies you haven't seen enough to know if they would be valuable or not. Poison isn't your specialty.
Oh, you're right. Poison is not my special. Wait, actually, Alex.
Yeah.
Could I argue advantage because I am proficient in poisoner's kit?
You know what? Yes, I'll give you advantage. Absolutely. You have poisons. I didn't know you had proficiency.
Mm-hmm. All right, come on. Yeah, that is definitely better. 19.
19. Okay. All right. The spine salt is one of the most valuable. Let me find it. You also recognize one of the most deadly poisons. This is something that paralyzes its victim. It's called Gorgon's Rot. There's like 3 little skulls next to the label. Gorgon's Rot, incredibly valuable, incredibly rare, very deadly. This is like outlawed everywhere kind of thing. Gorgon's Rot is the main one, spine salt, and then I think they're yes. Something called Dragon's Blood, which is very unusual. Dragons are made up, so your best guess is that this is dragonborn blood, which is not something that a very upstanding citizen would have. But it's there are a few little vials in one of these pouches that's hung from a hook.
Okay. Taz is going to take. God, what is Taz going to take? God, I wish we had a bag of holding.
I'll also say on the previous side.
You have a
of
chest
mine.
of golding.
Can I put that in there?
You
Yeah.
want to put the drugs in the money box? You want to put the drugs in the money box where Matthias can see them?
I'm the one with the box. Wait, who has the box? Who has?
You have the box.
I have the box. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all I have it. It's not drugs. It's alchemical supplies.
Oh
How
my
are we
god.
gonna get a ship home?
Mom, they're not drugs. They're for a chemistry project. I promise.
What did you say, Oace?
How are we gonna get a ship home?
These guys might not be coming around again.
That's
they just
true.
came here because
That's
you paid
true.
them a lot of money.
Exactly.
That's very true.
You know what? Okay, Taz is gonna take the salt and the gorgon, and he is specifically going to Is the salt like in orbs or is it just salt?
Not orbs, like salt.
Okay. All right.
There's a few larger rocks, and then some powder.
Oh boy. Yeah, he's gonna take both of those. He's gonna. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
This is gonna come back and bite us. And you know what? Vic thinks there's alarm and stuff, but Taz is not thinking about it.
It's
So
a
he's gonna take it.
19. If you take the entire pouch of spine salt, it's likely worth about 600 gold.
He's gonna take that whole pouch.
Okay.
And how many things are in the Like how much is in the Gorgon one?
Gorgon's Rot, you open it and look inside, and it looks like a shriveled finger.
Oh. He's gonna take it.
Okay, it's wrapped in something, kind of
Mhm.
like plastic wrap almost, but more like a beeswax treated wrap. And you can see that, like, through the multiple layers of wrap, transparent wrap, the finger is oozing this kind of putrid, like, stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna take it, and I think before he goes back up to Atari, he's gonna go hide that. He's gonna hide the Gorgon's blood in his poisoner's kit, which he does have, as best he
Okay, yeah.
can. Like, just make it look like
Which
it's.
means you also have the supplies to protect yourself from any kind of poisons. Like, you have gloves to handle certain things, and you have, you know.
And God, what is he gonna do?
You can put those in your chest of golding.
Yeah,
The spine salt, definitely, because salt materials are meant to go in something like that.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna hide he's gonna hide the finger as best he can in the in the poisoner's kit, and then he's going to put the what you call it in the gold. And so the Gorgon stuff is 100% illegal, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
But the salts isn't.
No, it's just a very valuable material.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then he's gonna go have a drink with the Tari.
Okay.
Please don't get caught. Oh, you know what? We're just gonna let it go. It's gonna be fine.
Your stealth check includes you putting the wall back and hiding things. It includes all of that.
I love you so much, Alex. But yeah, he goes back up with the bottle of rum, gets 2 drinks, and pours.
Now, you had shared a hammock previously when you had all this. Are you gonna have a drink in the kitchen or kind of back in sort of a side hammock crew quarter area?
Kitchen, and is happy to go back to that hammock area, but wants to talk to Tatari about things and see how that goes.
Okay, let me get you a bottle of alcohol. There we go. Big bottle. There. Excellent. Come over here.
Oh boy. I gotta turn the map over. That's
It's already
fucking
so
huge.
hot.
That is not even a bottle of alcohol. That's like the thing that you ferment kombucha in your tiny little dorm room cabinet, which is an experience that I definitely have not had.
No.
Sure, Sloan.
Here. Put some glasses down. There we go. I can put Tatari over here across the table.
Okay.
I love playing with my little map. There we go.
Okay.
Taz said, I'm gonna fuck up your relationship with your friends.
You know what? They were already pissed at Taz. So
Yeah.
let's be fair.
Fair enough.
And hey, it's the price of doing business. An agent of the Raj caught you doing something super illegal. I just took a
You
couple
know
things,
what?
it's fine.
That is so in character for the Raj that I'm actually gonna give you a point of inspiration.
that was my
not say
rationale.
those
Like,
words around my wizard bitch.
don't
I'm
worry.
just saying, Taz justifying in his head, like, I am an agent of the Raj, and I'm letting these pirates go, and they're smuggling super illegal stuff. I better confiscate it. Like, that is so in character
That's very Raj.
politically.
Mm-hmm. Listen, the boy needs deprogramming. The boy needs to grow.
But not
Which
today.
isn't to say that
Not today.
Which isn't to say that the Raj hasn't, like, prevented terrible illegal things being transported and, like, smuggling and all that. But, you know, out of your jurisdiction, I just think it's great. Okay. You return with the glass of alcohol. All of you, as you're going to bed, Kiara, Novel, getting ready, and packing up all of your stuff, folding your jackets, making sure you haven't left anything behind on the boat here, maybe saying goodbyes to a few of the crew that you've become more comfortable around. The
Saying
2
goodbye to
kobolds as they're
Folkley.
passing. Yes.
Like, that is
Definitely
not
goodbye.
happening.
I'll make
Barden
sure
is
you get to
giving them... Okay, good.
Yeah, I'll give you a little scene. All of you are getting ready this evening, and then you feel the boat kind of come to a stop as the anchor drops, and most of the lanterns are turned down. You only see that occasional light of the lighthouse sort of passing by a window if you're near it. As it is now the evening. And remind me, that was Neth 14th, so it'll be the 15th tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
Good. Look at us. Evening time. You sit down in the kitchen here. She's cleared off the table, and she's put a dice set on the table. Casriel. These are a white dice set. They wouldn't be necessarily very similar to what we use to roll. They're more like kind of almost bone shaped, like you might
Bone?
use for.
Sorry, I wasn't muted.
They're almost bone shaped, and you recognize there's a coin as well, sort of this double-sided bronze coin. You recognize the symbol of a god on it. I gotta check what my little symbol is, but I believe it's sort of 3 coins inside a circle. You recognize the symbol of the god Luther, who is a purveyor of luck and trickery, often associated with some, I would say, gambling, but also certain forms of magic. And this is more of not a super major god, but also well known in Abshore, Skyhome, the Pirellian coast, things like that. Do you fancy a game of chance?
Always.
Nice. And lets you fill up her glass. Before we begin, Tazriel, I must say I'm a little sad to be departing from you.
As am I. And if I were a foolish man, I'd say come with me, but I am not.
You don't seem that foolish, no. I had no illusions about the length of a little dalliance, but I have appreciated your company. And I certainly know you come from a slightly different background as me and my friends. I have no intention of giving up a lifestyle I quite enjoy.
Completely understandable. I wouldn't give this up either.
Well, with that all on the table, I would love to have your company for this evening.
I'm here as long as you'll have me.
All right. Have you played Luther's game before?
Have I, Alex? Is that up to me?
This is most often played on the coast. You have spent a little time in Oarnabara, so there's a chance. Let's say that you enjoy games and gambling, right, Taz?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, then you have played Luther's game before, and it's a pretty simple set of rules. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a d6, and you're going to tell me a number. And then I will show you the d6, and you have a chance to spend a certain number of points. So 3 coins, 3 points to try and get to that number. Or you can spend 1 to tell me to reroll. So, for example, I might roll a d6 and get a 5. You will say a number like 1 or 2 or 3 or anything like that. And then you can either tell me to reroll using one of your coins or add +2, -2, etc., up to 3 to try and get to that number.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do it in reverse. And whoever has spent the least amount of coins to get the right number wins. So if, for example, I roll a d6 and you guess the number, you still have 3 coins left. That gives you 3 points. So it's a very simple game of chance and guessing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, I'm rolling a d6. Datari picks up the dice and sort of looking at you, rolls it. Make your guess.
4.
It's a 3. Now you can either tell me to re-roll or spend one of your coins.
I'm gonna spend one of my coins.
Okay. That leaves you with 2. Your turn. Would you roll a d6 for me? Let's go with 4.
It's a 3.
I'll spend one of my coins. We're tied. Now we have 2 left. Since we tied in this round, we'll go again, but we only have 2 coins. So, I'm rolling a d6. Give me a guess.
2.
It's a 4. Do you want me to re-roll, or do you want to spend your 2 coins?
Reroll.
Okay. It's a 2. You have 1 coin left. Now roll a d6 for me. 6.
It's a 3.
Re-roll.
It's a 2.
You've won. You continue playing into the night, and you are quite skilled. Win more games than she does. Do you want to let her win at any point?
I'm gonna say no, but I think there's a moment after he's won a bunch in a row that you can see it on its face, like he's jokingly thinking about it, and then very clearly is like, is jokingly thinking about it, and it's just like, I wouldn't insult you by allowing you to win.
A lady does like to win, but I appreciate your transparency. After you've finished a few glasses of wine, well, of rum, and I think she's also probably drinking wine. I know Datari likes it. She leans across the table to sort of grab you by your coat lapels and then tugs you into just kissing, like sort of scattering some of the dice. It's obvious she was interested in this from the beginning. So even though she's tipsy, you are both warm and excited for each other's company. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. We're gonna fade to black here in a moment, but she kind of pulls you across the table and sits up on it, gets your head between her thighs, and says, "There is more to drink if you would like, Tasriel."
And it's just gonna look up at her and just say, "It'll be a pleasure."
And then we'll fade to black there. You spend a lovely time together. Okay.
Is that what you might like? Is that what you want for your next illustration, Vic? Because I can do that.
Yes. Oh my god.
In that case, we are going to gain the benefits of a short rest here for this evening. Once again, finishing up your preparations. Shara, of course, you get your warlock spell slots back. And then that next morning, Barton, do you want to say goodbye to Folkley in the evening or in the morning?
I think in the morning, because I think evening suggests things like, is Barton gonna invite me back or something? And Barton would worry about that and just be like, no. I don't want to mislead them at all, you know.
Okay. Then I'm going to transfer us over to a different map. And of course, Matthias, you are also going to see if Neve is awake.
Yeah.
That early in the morning, you find her sleeping in the crew quarters. If you want to wake her up, you can. You also think she'll probably be up in another hour or so.
Did I get the vibe that it was like an immediate, like, fucking get Neve in here situation, or Sarah? What?
I listen. The mind of my character is sometimes as inscrutable to me as it is to everyone else.
Okay, I'm gonna guess I'll fucking...
She's been waking up early for training, so you do know that.
You can let her sleep if you'd like.
You know what? Maybe I'll be a little bit... I'm gonna wake her up.
Okay. Neve wakes up blearily, just kind of yawns and stretches. You see a few of the other crew just kind of like turn over in their beds a little bit and look at you, and you hear a grouchy halfling go, "Can you just go back to bed for an hour?" And then Neve kind of like pushes herself up and brushes her hair back through her horns, and then stands up and just kind of, "Come up."
Yeah.
And comes with you.
I'm gonna leave her at the door. I'll give it knock, 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 and then leave her in there. And I'm gonna let them talk to each other.
Okay. To keep the timeline kind of straight, I'm gonna have this conversation happen first, and then we'll have the goodbye with Folkley. Is that okay with you, Shan? Okay, great.
And I'm gonna go up on deck, and he'll say, I'll be up on deck if you need me. I'm gonna go up on deck.
Okay. You notice that Vice is also up early and is looking eagerly towards the wastes. You can join her for a smoke if you want, Matthias.
Oh. Shit. That's good to see.
Yeah. Okay. Neve kind of peeks out from behind Matthias a little bit and then steps into the room as you step out. Are you sitting up still?
I think Oasia's like, the bed is against the wall because, small quarters. So is like propped up against the wall. Their hair is just like in the air being braided because unseen servants, invisible, freaky deaky shit.
He doesn't seem too disturbed by that.
Neve.
Hmm?
Well, you said you
Hi.
wanted to. Know when I was hurting.
Did you wake me up early to tell me I can't come anymore?
No.
Oh, really?
I woke you up because I need your help, Eve.
Sorry, you said you're hurting? Are you okay?
Kids are so hard. Fuck me. I am not well now.
I don't have any medical training, and I don't, obviously I don't really know healing magic. Is there something else I can help with?
We're leaving today, Neve. I just need you at my side.
Can do that.
All right. Kind of finishes getting everything prepared and nods towards their staff in the corner and asks her to get it from.
Yeah, okay. Passes that to you. I also have a question. Do one of you guys have a spare coat?
We can ask around.
Okay.
Are you cold now?
A little bit.
All right.
I tried to take a blanket out from that was tucked underneath some of the boards, and then there was a draft, and I got in trouble a little bit. So
If you help me up into our previous quarters, you can use mine until we find a replacement. I will not need it as soon as you will.
okay, yeah, it's really pretty. That would be very nice. Here, and then kind of awkwardly helps you up. You had noticed before that she doesn't step in the same way as Tyra. She's not as unsure, even though obviously she wears those longer skirts. She's also fairly strong. Like, she's a teenager, but she does a lot of hard labor on the boat, and she's been training and obviously knows how to use a weapon. So you don't feel like putting weight on her arm or shoulder is gonna knock her over. She's confident as she helps you.
Cool. Yeah, Oish will keep Neve's arm and then their staff on the other side, and they'll make their way to Oish's previous quarters, which was just like in the public way, which it's probably around the time that everyone's getting up now, between getting ready and getting out. And Oish has resistance to cold, so we'll give their jacket to Neve. Obviously, they'll need it eventually, but yeah.
Mm. Darren seems a little pensive, almost. He's still kind of wrapped around you, I'd say, kind of over your shoulders, just like almost like a brace, like helping your back kind of stay upright and keep the posture that you usually keep.
Inside their
Feels
minds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He says,
Penny for your thoughts. Gold piece.
this is kind of nice.
What?
I don't know, just feels right.
Darren, you're going to have to be more specific.
The way that some of them would help you. This just seemed a little better. Maybe because she's shorter.
You're all so fucking tall. Even Omara.
It is a strange experience to once again have a tiefling who looks so familiar at your side and your staff in your hand. But it does feel right.
Does your mother get down to the coast often?
As Neve is helping you pack up some of your stuff? Yeah. She likes the beach.
There is a letter in there. It should be sealed. If you find it, could you give it to me?
Absolutely. Kind of digs through and then hands that to you.
Takes it. They will read it in privacy later. But yeah, takes it.
Okay.
It is the letter that they received during the mail delivery that they immediately put away without reading.
Are all of you packed?
Fuck yeah. Packed and ready to go. Let's get the
Let's
fuck
go.
off this hellhole. It's a
I'm
nice
gonna
ship.
pull us over to our new map, and I'm gonna
New
put Folkley and Vice on there so we can
New-
say goodbye.
fucking map.
Ooh, let's leave before.
Before anybody finds out,
I
we gotta get out of here. We gotta
Also,
go.
this is This entire time we've been on the ship, I have not gotten a tattoo from Asar. Can we say that during the ending
Yes.
of the like saying goodbyes, Oish gets a tattoo from Asar?
You all are so big on this
So big.
boat. There we go.
Boat too
Pick it up.
small.
Boat too small.
Here we are. We've got everyone on the boat. Yes, there was plenty of downtime. If any of you, we can always step back to this moment on the Guild Star if we need to, the same way that I've said if you did some shopping and then you're like, I would have bought that. That's totally fine with me. Same thing with like little moments or conversations. If we feel like we want to draw a parallel at some point to a conversation you would have had on the boat, we can always do that as well.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let me grab all of our NPCs.
My God.
NPCs.
Professional NPC wrangler.
That's
think
me.
I think Barden's like making sure that Kiara is up and Kiara has the new coat on and just like it's gonna be cold. Gotta keep it all nice and snug.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta keep cozy. It's gonna be cold.
Outside, midriff out.
Yeah.
Christ.
And it's out.
It's cold.
It's cold.
Any rolls that need to be made for the day? You notice the moon is
Oh,
still
God.
strange.
Moon rolls, eh? Kiara is hilariously over bundled up and is actually kind of sweating under there. I don't need the same amount as you. No, you take this. And it's just like throwing
no.
scarves and like hats on to Novel or Barden because she doesn't want all of it yet.
Barden's just like, okay, just maybe keep the coat open, but you know, you gotta keep your limbs warm, you know.
No, I know. I just don't need all of this other stuff yet.
Okay, I'll put that away. Just don't want you cold.
Asar steps
like
around
fussing.
with some lotion and is like, okay, just make sure that you keep this covered, especially in the cold. I just don't want the ink to scab over at all. And like, just is kind of passing you guys little care kits for your various tattoos.
Oh my goodness.
Just imagine we have fantasy cling film.
Like,
Like saran wrap.
I'm so excited. Matthias has got quite a little, he's got a little pep in his step. He's like
Waste time for Matthias.
stepping lightly around the ship, getting everything in order.
Mm-hmm.
Big bucks.
Folkley does come up on deck, which again is kind of unusual, and just gestures over to Barden.
Hi. Hope you slept well. You probably know that we're leaving today. It's been really nice to know you, and I was wondering, and pulls out the notebook and has written something out already, and just like very gently ripping the page out. She's like, here's a letter for you, and there's also an address. This is to where I live in the Tome Loft in Skyhome, and should be able to, if you send some there, it might be able to get to me. If you'd like to. You don't have to send me letters. Absolutely fine. It's up to you. And just holds it
She pulls out a folded piece of paper and hands it to you.
out. Thank you.
Do you
Tucks
want to
it.
look at it now
tucks
or
it away.
later? All right.
Can I? Is it okay if I read this later? Okay. Thank you. Tucks it away. And just
She also gestures, signs to you. This also has a home address for me.
brilliant. And she can't help it. She just very gently takes Folkley's hands, very slowly, as you know, if they want to back up, and just very soft little kiss, just on her knuckles, and just like, I'd like it if we could meet again someday.
Me too.
Okay, be safe. Hope the winds are fair at your back.
That seems to strike a particularly resonant note.
Be safe.
And you as
just
well.
heads to the
She,
group and is just like,
kind of grabs your arm back and then gives you a hug. Much smaller than you, so kind of more towards the midriff, and then steps back and just waves to the rest of the party.
just Barden just like looking at Kiara to like. Just
The-
excited. Just.
Yeah, Kara's making that face at Barden.
The crew are bringing up crates and things. You also, some of the livestock have had just like rope collars kind of loosely tied around and are being slowly herded up onto deck. It is obviously going to be a complicated maneuver to unload and sell some of these, so they don't want to bring them all up on right now. But you see the two kobolds. Tatari is lifting things heartily. Everyone up here, and then of course, standing by the front, Asar and Drak, pointing towards the lighthouse, talking to each other, and then back to all of you. Well, Sir Markart, I think our contract is nearly fulfilled.
I believe so, yes. Any
And
loose ends that we need to tie up before that happens?
I think our payment is all squared away. Like I said, it is a unique thing to have this prow, so I'm grateful for the opportunity for it. And we won't be traveling on much longer in this part of the world, so any of those additional fabrics or blankets you're welcome to bring with you.
Oh,
And they've kind of
thank you.
packed up some of those to give to you. They won't necessarily have much of a mechanical effect, but you can obviously tuck them around materials, goods to try and keep things warm.
Matthias loves
or,
a blanket. He won't look a gift blanket in the mouth. He's ready.
Yes.
He's ready.
And then remind me, it's been a while, but I think you also brought your horse with you. The horse you.
Oh my god, the
Yes,
fucking
we
horse.
did.
Did we?
Yes.
Did we name the horse?
You
feel
did
like we
name it. I
named
do
it.
not remember.
It was like silly.
It changes. The name
The
changes.
general.
Yeah.
The general. Yeah, I like that one.
The general's a good horse name,
Mhm.
but you can also like wrap blankets kind of around the horse to make sure that it's warm. So stuff like that.
I'll let Awaish do it.
Neve, up to. No.
Unless they don't want
to say goodbye to Sar and Drak as well. Twins.
Drak, before you step forward, Awaish, holds out a hand for you to shake, Matthias.
Oh yeah. I give a firm shake. Forearm grip. Reach past to the
You
forearm.
have
We're fucking brothers in arms
And it-
now.
you
We
have
can
quite
do
an
shit.
interesting group at your disposal. I'm glad to see that my ship and my crew made it through in one piece. It kind of looks over to Datari and to Folkley. I'm sure you will all have some interesting company wherever you go.
Thank you very much. You made it possible for us to get here. And we're glad to lend
Yes.
our help where we can.
Might take you up on that at some point.
You know where to find me. He gestures.
Certainly. But I will also leave a message with some of your order's representatives in Skyholm, if I ever need you.
Of course.
All right.
I'm sorry, just before we go, to Drak.
Yes.
I just want to say, thank you for teaching me some things. The new knowledge is good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And as the ship begins to pull in closer to the lighthouse, you see these other boats that are docked. You see these small floating sheets of ice that you're passing between, and then a town coming into view. as the rest of the crew is preparing to dock, Drock and Asar do step with a waist to the side.
And Neva's here, they don't mind, but just reaches out and takes each of their hands, predator handshake style.
Do you really have to go?
Just as long as you don't fucking die if I'm gone.
I made it, whatever it was, 40 years without you.
Mm-hmm. I'll be back.
Okay. And just checking. Did you want me to tell people that you're alive now?
Best not to.
Okay. Just let the story kind of taper out by itself.
I'll save the surprise for when I can meet them face to face.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I would love to see the look on some people's faces. I mean, not much of the old crew is around still, kicking in the port, but some of them.
Anyone I wouldn't be happy to see?
Plenty, I'm sure. But, you know. I'm really gonna miss you.
Good luck.
If you hear any good stories from the wastes,
You'll be the first to hear.
good. I mean, I've heard some, but I wouldn't want to spoil any surprises for you.
All right.
And Drock steps forward as well, and then just kind of places a hand around your shoulders.
Leans in a bit. Good job keeping the ship together.
Travel safely.
I would say I always do, but that's clearly not the case.
Oish.
Yes, Drock.
I have heard this is not a place that many return from.
Although it takes me some time, I've done fairly well returning from unreturnable places.
I know. It would just be a shame if those that love you were to lose you again.
Ugh. Sorry.
Let me worry about that.
That's all I wanted to hear. You
And
sailed back to the coast, Oish.
yes.
And I know there are responsibilities there for you. That gift I had for you. Is there anything you would like to have me send back for them?
Hang on. Oish takes out not the Heartlorn crystal, but one of the Kvektol crystals that they took from the whale,
Mm-hmm.
and presses it into Drock's hand and says, consider it a promise.
I think the Lotus will appreciate it. Okay. Safe travels.
And to you.
Safe travels to all of you. And the crew join in, saying goodbye.
Kiara's hugging everybody. Like every single fucking person's getting a hug.
Picking up the kobolds, like,
Yeah, no, 100%. Everybody.
Asar definitely kind of comes in for like a few rounds.
Yeah.
Few rounds of hugs, keeps coming back.
All the good hugs. Yeah.
Giving lots of
And
He's
then-
firm
forgotten which one
handshakes.
he's hugged. It's just like, did I hug you yet? I'm gonna do it anyway.
Good. And then your boat pulls
Oh,
in.
Bye, Bert. Oh, we left Taz.
Goodbye, Ted.
You can't leave me with these people, they'll catch me.
It's like Home Alone. Except he's hiding on a boat.
Oh my
the whole
God,
time.
we're getting off a boat.
There we go.
Bye, Bert.
Oh,
Oh, I see horses. I love this. Oh,
Did you put on a cool coat?
I've changed my fit.
wow. Fit change.
Oh, I need to.
Fit change.
look at
I'm all
that.
warm. I'm all cozy.
We should do a little card update. We'll do a little
for the waves.
Yes, the fit.
yeah. Okay. You finally step off of the deck of the Guild Star onto
Fuck yes.
solid ground, dock, at least. Could all of you make a perception check for me?
Oh my God.
Let's see if we break through the.
Ah! I'm
Perception.
That was a scream. That
sorry.
was a 15.
Okay.
16 for me.
hmm
That was
14.
22.
Nice.
7.
Listen, you haven't actually stepped foot onto the wastes yet. You still have a chance for the dice
Just
to
looking
improve.
around like I love the wastes. Too busy.
But I
No,
was
but
looking
you-
around the dock, but he actually, I was gonna say, he follows all protocol vis-a-vis who gets off the ship first, but as soon as everybody who needs to be off is off, he's the first one off the ship, and he's immediately, like, talking over his shoulder device, like, I think that I'm going to go and find us some boarding as soon as possible. I can do that by myself if you would stay with everyone. And is just, like, talking to her, trying to make
yes.
plans.
Absolutely. It is morning, of course, so you do have a day ahead of you, but there... yes, I do think that there are some stocks that we should refill, and some of the livestock, it might actually be useful for us to make some trades for meat that is already prepared to be preserved for the rest of the journey. I want to make sure I know exactly where our location is. I think this is Cersei.
This is? Wait, Cersei? Here?
Yes, Cersei is a small town on the Castad archipelago.
Oh, nice. It does...
It's not on the map. It's just a small little outpost. But as you are first, before I get into that, the perception check. Looking around, Kiara, a few things of note for you. This is not a quote bustling town, and oh, by the gods, is this different than any place you have ever known. Every inch of ground, except for what is maybe shielded by coverings or trees, is covered in snow. There is some snow in Abjor. There are mountain ranges in Abjor, but the heart of the Ignis Valley doesn't ever see it. There are cold seasons and fog and rain, but not snow. So this is particularly unusual to you. You don't see any faces that you recognize from the few people that are outside. Looks like there are some travelers who are huddling over by this outside campfire. Some warm drinks are being passed around, but most people are indoors or tucked away, have their faces covered against the chill. Same thing with generally looking around at people who are coming off of some of the shifts and unloading on this dock between the lighthouse and the town itself. Not any immediately noticeable familiar faces. But Kiara, you do notice that it looks like there is a mildly familiar boat out in the sort of bay that is coming towards you. This is a large metal ship that is familiar because you saw it before leaving Lyport.
We saw that one, right? I don't know who's around Kiara, but Kiara's asking out loud.
So we did.
Should we be worried?
Were they not heading in this direction?
I don't think. Well, I don't think Kiara talked to anybody about boats and where they were going. Right?
I think this was a Matty thing, wasn't it? Matty was doing the
Good to keep our
siding.
eye on it. I think that yes. To be honest, just keep your eyes open. Period. But yes, it's a good thing to note. We did get up to some activities before we left, so good to keep an eye.
Not that there is any jurisdiction of Skyholm
No.
here.
No, but when does jurisdiction ever stop somebody who really wants to accomplish something?
Yes.
We also do probably still have somebody that might be willing to follow us into the waste. And it is
Very true.
Pats Kiara's shoulders, just like,
Kiara's-
mm-hmm.
You're like, sorry, sorry.
Well, we will keep an eye out in that case. If we want to spend a night in Cersei before setting out and mapping our route, it might be prudent, but we don't necessarily have to.
At
What
the very
will we be
least, we
doing
should
if
find a
don't
place.
stay?
Sorry,
was that,
repeat
Sarah?
that.
Sorry, Awish was asking what we would do if we didn't stay.
Well, we would begin our journey. You do have tents.
We do have tents. I think it might be worthwhile to get our bearings before we move off anywhere. At the very least, let's find a place to sit down inside.
All right. There is a building that's connected to the dock, kind of a trade hall almost, where people are moving things in and out. Obviously, this is a smaller, you haven't hit a big port, this is a smaller section, but it seems like most of the boats that are landing here are like trading goods and then leaving pretty soon. You also see a variety of strange things that are like, you see a giant bear pelt. It's just being carried by two people sort of onto one of these boats. A number of like ice crystals and weaponry, a lot of weaponry is being traded like to the people who are leaving. Livestock are coming off. There's a sort of slope area that comes down off of the dock and a pen that's out behind this trade hall where you see a bunch of that livestock. The sort of quote small market place where people are trading mostly just drinking warm drinks, and they're warming their horses or some of this livestock by a fire pit area where some of the snow has been sort of like pushed aside down to this frozen dirt. A few other houses and a scattering of forest and woods here. There is pine forest on this section of the land. Matthias, you know that some parts of Valkyrie are literally just ice, almost like a gigantic ice sheet at some point crashed into actual land, but the Order and other locations that you've mostly been to are beneath layers of ice and snow, actual ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can all make your way off of the dock as you like.
And let's
Off
find
we
a
go.
warm place to sit
we-
down.
Can we yank our Neve PC too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neve, come with us.
Oh, it disappeared.
We went
There we
under
are.
Neve.
Under the dock.
Under the dock.
Under the dock.
There we go.
Matthias.
This trade hall. Do we have Neve? Where is Neve?
Where
Neve.
was she?
Is she on the? She on
under
there?
the deck?
Mhm.
Oh, Kiara's got a
Lady.
robe on. Love it.
Yay, Kiara warm clothes.
Oh my god, that
Dead.
is so
Fuck.
cute.
God, that's so cute.
I'll
Warm
work out how
clothes.
to do that at some point.
This trade hall is called Hark's Haven. You see that is written up. There's also a sign that's sort of hanging that just looks like a fire. This is a mildly familiar symbol to you as well, Matthias. This sort of fire symbol, it's a fire between two trees, represents a place where people can come in and warm up without having to fight for it.
It's fucking good to be back. All right, let's. Yes, he's gonna push his way in there, because guaranteed they're gonna have at least a spot where they can sit down and look at a map, get a compass out or two,
Okay.
figure shit out.
You push your way through the doors. It is immediately warmer on the inside. Although there are windows, there's this strange thing that's happening inside here where there's no windows that are actually just glass, but rather each window is kind of like a window box that faces the outside. So it gives off light from the outside, but there's no light coming in from the inside. It's almost like if someone took a wooden crate and stapled it all over with fabric and put a candle inside and then had that face outside. It gives the illusion of being able to see indoors, but there's no actual connection between outside.
Oh, I see. It's all fake.
Love
Yes.
that.
People, bitches in the way.
completely fake. A lot of that.
Gotta have the aesthetics.
It's all about the
Kind of-
aesthetic.
Gather you guys in here.
We got
I do not have a tavern map, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a little table down for us.
Little table.
A little,
A little
table.
table.
Little guy.
And
Yeah,
Matthias-
Oish is going to be asking around this entire tavern if anyone has a fucking coat they can buy.
We can
Just
get,
immediately?
We're gonna get
Yeah.
your daughter a coat. A nice coat. Not one off a rando. We're gonna go find a
Where
nice
do
one.
we intend to find it?
It's a trading post. There are plenty of
Right.
people who
A-
come through here.
Gruffy human man pulls off this leather coat full of holes. There's sort of like a claw mark that's just torn through it. You want this?
No, thank you.
It's warm.
I've no doubt of that. He just fully ignores this person.
Shuts it down.
After that, we're going to find a nice coat. Not just, we're gonna take time to find it.
It's a nice coat.
Oh my god, he's not paying attention. In the meantime, we could mend it. It's been through a lot. We should start with something. Start with something that is baseline doing all right. Not that mending can't fix anything, but
Point taken.
it's the principle.
It's the
Principle of the thing,
of the
Linda.
thing.
For the minute, like I think
actually, you know what?
bottom right.
You all stay here. I am going to go find a coat. And I'll be back. And take care of a few other things.
Matthias coat quest.
Matthias coat quest.
You sure about going off alone?
I'm certain.
Okay.
He's so excited.
He's in his element. Snow.
Snow.
Okay.
He's here.
Vice, would you
Oh my
we
god,
go.
we got a little tavern.
Into the.
Vice, would you stay with them, please?
Yes, I'll make sure. I'll make sure they don't immediately die their first time sitting down
Do
on
we have like
Valkyrie.
Do we have like a little metal kettle? Like something that
Sure.
we could do water in. I think Varden just like pulls the kettle out of just like whoever's got it. It's just like puts it there. Just to go to Kara, just like you've got that tea, and you've got your flamey hands. We can make a nice pot. What do you think?
Don't we have to? Are we allowed to make our own drinks in this tavern?
Is there
no.
like?
Yeah, that's about right.
But do
Yeah.
you have ginger tea? That's the question.
pulls the dwarven bartender. You do notice that there are a lot of dwarves around. This seems to be probably close to just maybe a family or something that kind of all work here. And this dwarven bartender, most of the dwarves that you see have a kind of unique like reddish beard that's going on. So maybe, again, like I said, a family that work here. He kind of steps over with a like root and then kind of shaves a few pieces off onto the table.
Well, there we have it.
Is it ginger though?
I think that
It's
was
a
trying
root.
to help, but it led to more questions.
I'm gonna pick it up and
it's-
sniff it.
It
Does it
could
smell like ginger?
pass for ginger. It's 4 silver.
Is that?
I mean, what is it though?
Tea.
I already told you.
Okay.
It's 4 silver.
As a brown person,
I think it's a root.
Kiara
no?
fucking knows ginger.
Yes.
And what the fuck goes into tea? Can
It's
Kiara
musty.
sniff it?
It's musty, but it's ginger.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh. We might be better off with just tea leaves. Could I get a regular tea?
You could pay me for that first.
Oh well. Just looks at Taz.
Money boy.
Yeah, Taz pulls out.
His box
Yeah,
of
Taz
drugs.
pulls out.
But he has a money.
You
He has a
money
pouch. I have my own money pouch. He'll pull out 4 silver and toss it over.
Okay.
Oh man, 4 silver. That's almost all the cost of that money you just stole. What now?
Just like, okay, thank you.
That 4 silver was of Kiara's money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. He took it out of his. No, he just took it out
Oh
of
no!
his.
Kiara was asking you because you have her money.
He just handed over 4 silver.
Uh,
It's from his pouch.
I'll bring tea. Do you want for me?
What
I
is
don't know
that?
what
That is.
It's what we serve here.
Oh no, we're tourists.
Is it
Could you explain
alcohol? Is it
Is it
food?
food?
It's a drink, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Spice says, "Oh my god, I've missed this." And
Ooh,
as you're
Vice-
seated around this table, the dwarf steps to the side and then comes over with just like pulls a cauldron off of the fire as well as a bunch of wooden mugs and then just spoons this dark, steaming liquid into the mugs.
What does it
Back.
smell like?
Yeah, Kiara's gonna look at Vice and be like, "So how badly is this going to fuck me up?"
I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Wait, reaches
going
over
in.
and like puts a hand over the glass that Neve has and gives Vice a look.
It's probably good for her.
All right. Takes the hand away. Yeah.
And then Eve goes,
Blood,
you
like,
know, I
chinks. Whoever's
I've
around.
drank before, right?
It could have been poisoned.
Jesus.
We're
We're in this for the rest of the campaign.
I'm a protective parent.
Eve kind of leans over and sniffs it, and no, I don't think it is.
Dang.
Hey, Alex, what are the tasting notes on this drink?
Yeah, what are the
Give us a
notes? Give me the
like.
notes.
It's like a combination of cider and maple candy, but like
Oh,
really,
yes.
really thick, boiled down maple. It's almost overwhelmingly sweet, like thick and sweet, but also very like you taste the wood that it's been fermenting in. So it is mildly alcoholic, but mostly it's warm as fuck. Like drinking it is very, very warming.
Hell yeah.
That sounds like
Sounds
good
good.
shit. I'll be
Sounds so
honest.
good.
You could make that in real life, and I would probably drink it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
I would
already in
say
my mind
kind of
thinking
a
of the
mood.
alcohols I can mull tonight. I was like, what can I do? I want warm alcohol.
Barton's gonna take like a teeny bit of salt and just feels like it would go really well to balance out the sweet.
It's not bad.
Hell yeah.
So
Oh,
you have your
try-
steaming mugs.
There you go.
Cheers. Vice just chugs it down and then puts it down. Puts her mug down for another. It's also the cheapest thing in here, by a mile. You can tell that they have multiple cauldrons of it bubbling and going. Everything else is pretty expensive, but those will just be a silver each.
Thank you.
Before, as everyone else is filling their drinks, you're very welcome. What are you doing with Ias?
Oh, well,
Her
there are
aunt,
two
her
things that
aunt.
Matthias needs to do. First, he needs to find a quiet corner to scream in.
He needs to have a panic attack.
So if there's anywhere like that, I'd love to know. Oh my god, I
Oh.
almost spilled something, sorry.
Matthias. Endlessly so.
Oh, fuck yeah. It doesn't matter.
You step away from the 3 or 4 buildings that make up the majority of this town into like the woods that surround it, and immediately noise just dampens. You can hear the ocean and you can hear the wind, and that's it.
Fuck. Okay. That's good shit. After that, he's gonna go get a coat. He's going to find a nice coat. He got Neve's general measurements and considerations for body things, and is gonna take that and go find something good. Their shit is enchanted. I don't know if we can afford enchanted stuff right now, but he's gonna try and find something good. And this is kind of like a small town, so it's probably gonna be marked up like fuck.
Just tell me, we've kind of talked about this before. Matthias is very comfortable in this region. Are you using kind of an intimidation factor, like a charisma factor to persuade people? Are you just kind of purely looking around, investigating? What's the vibe?
Okay, well, there are a couple of things. If we're going into like mechanical stuff, I do have a background feature
Yes, please.
called Heart of Darkness, which is that those who look into your eyes can see that you have faced unimaginable horror and that you are no stranger to darkness. Though they might fear you, commoners will extend you every courtesy and do their utmost to help you. Unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them, they will even potentially take up arms, but I'm not asking them to do that. I think that, first of all, if there's a vibe check to be passed, I've passed it.
Got it. You passed it.
And then, second of all, I mean, he doesn't spend a whole lot of time haggling, but he puts the effort in and he can do that. Relying less on deception and intimidation and more on persuasion. Because that's what I'm proficient in.
Then I'm very down for that. Will you make a persuasion check with advantage?
Yes, absolutely. Come on, babes. Come on. That's a natural 20.
He's in the waste.
So that is a 26.
That is what the dice wanted from you.
It's a
They said, get your
26.
ass into snow.
Yes! It's a 26.
Let's not jinx it, but maybe
One good
finally.
roll is all I need. I can live off that.
With a 26, Matthias, I'm gonna give you the best that this town has got, which is they do not have enchanted, but you will find a good coat for a not unreasonable price.
Okay.
And it's something that will fit Neve without you having to do additional tailoring. It
Amazing.
looks like their is a hunting family who's actually just passing through here to drop off some skins, and they are dropping off like some coats that the youngest daughter of this hunting family has already grown out of. So it's adapted for the waist. It would fit Neve, and they're not you're getting it directly from them instead of going through the trade hall. So you managed to get a decent coat for Neve. Let's put that at 7 gold.
7 gold. Fuck yeah. Nice. Nice. Where's my inventory? Oh, I have so much gold. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
All right, minus 7 from me.
It's not a fancy coat, like it wouldn't count as noble clothing or anything like that, which is why it's that price.
We don't need that.
it's warm.
We're based on my understanding of that family's current situation, non-noble and high visibility clothing is good. Because we're trying to be low profile.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he'll snag that and give the people who are dropping them off a hearty thank you and good luck.
Absolutely. And just does seem to acknowledge, like, there's not a lot of conversation that happens. They're going to somewhere warm as soon as possible, and you don't need a lot of exchange to get it.
Fuck yes.
Nice and quick.
And I will go back. How wasted is everyone?
Matthias, I'm gonna say you've been gone at least an hour.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
How many hot beverages would one have to drink to get wasted?
Therme is not a strong drink. It's more, you'll reach the capacity of your stomach. You'll reach your sweetness capacity before you get absolutely wasted. But being
Unless
a little
Taz
bit like...
is spiking our drinks.
Yes, I was about to
Same
say,
motherfucker.
Alex. Alex.
VJ.
If you want to go into your first day in the waste drunk, I will be happy to oblige you.
You know what?
We're staying over.
You know what? We should
stay in this
sleep
town.
here. We should sleep here.
Wasted in the waste. I think that should be the episode name.
You would probably... It seems like there's actually kind of a good vibe of, like, a lot of people are just a little bit tipsy, but the kind of a little bit tipsy that just makes it easier to go outside, to do the, like, task initiation of, I gotta go somewhere else, and it's chilly, so.
We're not talking blackout. We're talking, like, the initiation or the, like, we're off a boat after a long time. We're
A little
finally,
goofy.
like...
Look
Yeah,
goofy.
just a little, like, celebratory.
The vibe is those, like, kind of Arctic ski lodge towns where there's people, like,
Yeah.
outside by a
Yes.
fire.
Après-ski vibe.
A little
Let's go.
après-ski. Fuck yeah.
That's the vibe. That's very much the vibe. Like, everyone's just, like, coming off, loading their goods, and then they're just, like, drinking a steaming mug and going back in to get more crates.
Yeah.
I would say
Um,
Barden probably
yes.
drinks half because there just comes to a point where the sweetness is just making her feel sick, and she just like pushes it to Kiara, just like, you finish it. There you go. It's good, but not too much.
I am introducing a new mechanic.
Oh,
for
God.
us. You guys know exhaustion. This is kind of similar to exhaustion, but it's a weather mechanic. I'm tracking how cold it is in the waste. And there are different kinds of rolls and saves that you'll make against cold depending on how cold it is. So I'm using a 1 to 6 scale of how cold it is. We start at 1 here in Cersei. This is cold that isn't going to mechanically affect you. So it's cold that affects your role play, but you're not going to take exhaustion from doing labor in this kind of cold. No mechanical effect. Going from 1 to 6 means that there are more and more mechanical effects. You've paid a significant amount of money to enchanted gear. So that is going to reduce the number 2 tier. So that means if you're wearing your coats, no mechanical effect. Same thing if it's too cold. If you're wearing your coats, you're fine. At 3, if you're not wearing your coats, something starts to happen. If you're wearing your coats, you have to make saves. So things like that. Does that make sense to you guys? Feel good?
Yeah.
I'll be keeping track of that. This isn't meant to be a punishing mechanic. It's meant to still give you guys a challenge in relation to the weather without feeling like you did put in time, effort, money, to protect yourself against the elements, I'm not going to immediately punish you just because it's the waste. Cool.
Sounds good to me.
Great.
It's
Since
the
it's
waste.
currently a 1, I'm just letting you know you're currently at a 1, and at night it's still a 1. It doesn't change. It's more the area than the time or temperature.
Cool. I'm gonna come back in this building. You started without me. Good. He's gonna sit down and get himself a mug of that sweet. You said it was Ferme?
Herme.
Yep. And is going to also lift his mug. He made it this far. And we'll give everyone
Cheers.
a celebratory cheers.
Welcome to Valkyrie.
Welcome to Valkyrie. Neve,
To the
this
next
is for you.
adventure.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so fluffy.
It should keep you until we can get it enchanted, which we should work on if we can. Even if we can't do it until we get to the order.
Arden goes through her little bag and is like, she has a spare scarf because furbolg weaving is just like, and you can borrow this until, and just hands over. It's like a nice pinky red, like really thick furbolg weaving. Just like, just over your head and over your mouth. Should do you good.
Let's chart a course.
All right, let's chart a course.
And we're gonna pull out a map and fucking take a look and see where we are and what we gotta do to get to where we're going.
Now, I don't have a Valkyrie specific map. Sloan has been courteous enough to be working on a map for us. I'm not going to pull that up at this time because I've already sketched out a most likely potential route for you, just to kind of give you guys a sense of what Matthias and Vice would know would be the fastest way to the order. Matthias. But I am hoping, we've been quite busy, to have time to kind of work on a more zoomed in map of Valkyrie for all of you to have. So you currently find yourself in Circe on the Castad Archipelago. This is a part that sticks out from the main continent of Valkyrie, and you have been kind of aiming for somewhere on this archipelago. You're kind of at the midpoint. So you do have travel to get to the mountains where the order is located, and then beyond those mountains, you're kind of deeper into the actual continent. The main things that you see on the route from Circe is there's something called the Stone Serpent that you seem to be fairly close to, as well as the mountains themselves. The Gale Peaks are where the order is located. So you are heading past the Stone Serpent to the Gale Peaks. There are minor things that you kind of can adjust if you want to actually kind of avoid the serpent itself. Matthias, you know this is a massive kind of archaeological structure, like a series of large stones that you can pass by, and you can stick closer to the coast, or you can kind of go along the archipelago itself. You have more forest cover, or if you're kind of by the coast, you might be able to trade a little bit more. So those are the two main decisions to make.
Okay. Well, I think we should. I think just like tourist mentality, we gotta see the serpent. That's like huge. It's like the one thing that exists here that's actually interesting.
You go to the waste, you gotta see the serpent.
Gotta see the serpent. So we're definitely gonna go that way and make sure we don't miss that because it's very cool. If anybody has any input on which way they would like to go, this is a group decision. So I'm cool either way. I don't know how much trading we're going to be doing, but it could be worthwhile to stick along trade routes just to have access to things.
Yeah, are there any areas?
What was that?
Yes.
Are there
I like
any...
things.
Are there any areas along here that would trade in alchemical supplies in case we need to pick up a few things.
I wonder why you want to do that. I thought I was muted.
There possibly are a number. Most of these outposts, things are going to be pretty overpriced. You might end up getting better prices just a little bit deeper. I know the Order will certainly buy off valuable things and also has some alchemical supplies. I think probably the next biggest area that we're going through that would have good trading is the Ferris Pass. That's Fyris Pass. This is something that you're going to be going through no matter what. It's just where the archipelago connects to the continent. So you go Stone Serpent, Ferris Pass, and then to the Gale Peaks where the Order is. So
Do you have-
yes, the pass has good trading.
Do you have need of alchemical supplies?
This is Vic laughing. I think it'll just be a good idea to pop in, see what they have. We'll be out in the waste, and who knows what'll happen. And materials running out that we need for combat or keeping us alive would be pretty detrimental. So,
Yes, you have those kits, right, that you've been using.
yes, and just think about the spellcasters, I suppose.
That makes sense. Vic, if you were hoping for Matthias to roll insight on that, I have to disappoint you.
I'm not hoping for anybody to do anything.
Okay, cool.
I would roll, but I have disadvantage on all my ability checks right now, so you're lucky.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna say,
because I
Okay.
know my insight's pretty good. I kind of want to do it anyway. I'm just gonna do it.
All right, okay. Hold on. I am very much lying, Alex. Taz wants a
You put me
plausible
deception.
reason
That's a
to
22, baby.
Taz really wants-
The reason I'll put is Awacia's falling asleep in their chair currently.
God.
Yara
don't
is
have anything.
face first into a cup. She does not care.
Oh boy. That's gonna give a really bad hangover too, because it's so sugary. Ugh, like a champagne hangover.
Counterpoint, she is a youth with a youth metabolism.
Yeah.
Reliving youth for the
I
shitty
know.
content.
Oh, she can do what I cannot.
21 on deception.
Beat you.
Yeah, you did.
I
Like
like that
one.
Shannon and Vic like to do these little head-to-head insight deception things. I think it's purely that Barden and Taz are kind of always like shooting each other looks, and you're
Yeah.
getting a sense for like you keep picking
Is
up
it
these
okay
same
to talk?
ticks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Barden's just keeping an eye on him because it's just like, how are we right now? Are we okay? Is he mad at me still? But yeah, just definitely spotting that. I'm just like,
yeah.
huh.
He's
I think
He's on
she
something.
definitely, she's just like this as it goes, we can do that.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
It's like probably the first time she's kind of tried smiling at you for a while because she's just been so nervous about it. But it's like very faint. It's just like an attempt. It's like,
He gives the same attempt back, but does not reach his eyes.
woof.
Christ. Why did I get in trouble? I got in trouble with Kiara.
Yeah.
But Taz
did.
didn't get in trouble.
No,
Taz was a bit
Taz,
in trouble.
He didn't do anything. He's done nothing.
he left.
You were the little shit, right?
You
I
were
can't
mean
believe
to
this
Barden.
slander.
Taz
He's a weirdo bug.
No, here's
Wow.
the thing. Taz is taking time to digest. Matthias went on the offensive. Therefore,
Oh.
Matthias got bitch slapped.
You guys are all looking at your map, being so focused, and then everyone just keeps walking around your table like they can tell that there's just something going on underneath the surface.
A lot of
vibes.
tension. Yeah.
Rancid
It's a
vibes.
shield of tension around the entire
Rancid vibes.
expedition. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all are tense and Kiara's having a good fucking time.
I do think we should try and stay. I think it would be helpful before setting off. Unless we... No, actually not even in that case. We should stay here. And start tomorrow.
I would not mind a night in an actual bed.
That doesn't sway
Mm.
or
Yes.
rock around.
Yeah. Sounds good.
That means I can get another?
Yes, you can get another.
Yeah.
And if we run out of things to do, which I'm not sure we will, there's always the woods.
What about the woods?
Well, we can just go see them. I can show you. We can start. We
I can show you the woods.
they're very
was
they're
literally
very
thinking
beautiful.
that.
If you'd like to see them, they're very beautiful.
Is this just
it could
aimed
be
at
nice
Kiara?
to dip. Sort of dipping your toes in before walking straight in. Nice to look around.
Oh, okay. I've never seen frozen woods.
I'm gonna go find us some
Just
rooms.
Just watching this, like.
You will.
Also,
you go find
before
your
session
room.
ends, I do want to
Yes.
talk to Barton, but that's it.
Yeah.
As we're getting rooms.
Okay.
Get rooms.
You will get your rooms, marking off a little more gold for the lot of you, since there's quite a lot of you and they usually don't have people stay. Will you just probably mark off, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mark off 10 gold for the duration of your stay here.
Who's keeping track of the group gold? Is it me? Or is it someone else?
I think Taz has the gold.
That's
I think
right,
I
and
have,
that
like,
We
little
I
can
have
just
sheet.
do
stuff listed.
2 gold each.
So I
We can just,
that's true. I was just gonna
we
mark
can
it
just
out
take
of
2 gold.
but I will
They
take
should
it
come
out
out
of
of
the group
Fulcrum
gold.
gold. Yeah.
I'll take it out of the group gold.
Alright.
It's coming out of the group gold.
Okay.
Cool.
Group gold.
Group gold.
Minus 10
Then,
rooms.
yes, you
That's
get your
it.
rooms here in Hark's Haven. Food as well, things like that. Manage just to sit for a while, talk, and catch up with each other in a way that's mostly quiet, but at least happy to be here.
Which definitely retires early. It's kind of like clear that they're not doing great because they still have Neve at their side, but they are kind of like hurrying to their room so that no one really gets the chance to ask about it, and they sleep time. Good night.
Neve is gonna just kind of go and, I think, like unpack some of her stuff in your room. She doesn't have a lot with her because she's stowed away, so it's mostly coat, weapons, bit of food, sleeping bag.
Anybody else?
Anything else that anyone wants to do before Matthias and Varden?
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, Kiara definitely wants to go to the woods, so that can happen after or next time. I don't care.
Oh yeah, sure. But
Go to the woods with a cute boy.
Let's have that happen after.
he just
We will
wants-
begin next time with a woods walk.
Woods walk. Okay. When people are scattering, at some point, he's gonna find Barden or catch her as she's like transitioning between groups.
I think
and
she's collecting the mugs on the table because that's what she used to do in the local pub and bring them back to the
oh my
bring them back
god,
to the pub because that's what I do because I think it's polite. So she's like, "You come up to the. Are you okay?"
yes, I have something for you. It's not fancy, but in the wastes, there can be a bit of damage sometimes to books and other things like that. Things made of paper, because it can be quite humid, even though it's cold. So I made you a cover for your book. And he pulls out what looks like just a handful of leather. It's like there's like a string situation, but he like sets it on the bar next to the glasses that you've just deposited and opens it up, and it kind of like, it's like a rectangle that has like tabs coming off of each of the sides, and there are holes punched in the tabs, and there's like a string that runs through it, and I can show you how to attach it if you want to. Do you have your book with you?
You made this for me. Really?
Yes.
I thought things weren't quite, you know, the way they were between us, but you made this to protect my book.
He seems to be struggling to speak. I don't know really what to say, Arden, except for that my wish is for you and us to be safe, and I thought I had a pretty good idea of what that would require, and I am learning that perhaps I was wrong. And for that, I'm sorry.
She's just looking at you. She's watching you struggle through this admission. And you made me a leather cover for a children's book on a journey to the wastes. That's the kindest thing anyone could do for me right now. She brings it out, big hulking thing, and like gently puts it on top of the leather, and just her hands are on it, and she looks at you and she's like, you can say no, but could I give you a hug? You can say no.
If you want to.
Yes, please. And she just straight up to you, just one arm around your back, just. I promise you I'm gonna do my best. I will not let you down. Okay?
He wraps his arms around her and gives her a squeeze.
Yeah.
And I will do the same for you, Arden.
Pat, pat. Disengages very gently.
He takes the big, it's like, I mean, it's large. He's cut it to fit. He bought everything back in the port before they left, and it's like cut to fit, and he slides the book through, and there's like this strip of leather that like goes over the center, and then he sort of folds the tabs all over where they're supposed to go, and there's one final one that kind of loops over the entire thing, and he pulls the string taut and wraps it around and then ties it, and it covers all of the edges just like a little parcel, but you can just pull on the string and unwrap it and it'll just open like a regular book.
Takes it up to her chest, just patting it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did she get a smile?
Yeah.
Or is that a Sloan smile? Okay, sorry. I'm just like, I think she gets a smile. She's just like, I'm going to go to bed. This has been
Good
good.
idea.
Thank you. Pats him on the shoulder. She's like bustling upstairs to find Kiara. Just to tell her everything. Be like,
Matthias stays at
Kiara's
the bar.
gonna be so proud of you.
Matthias apology tour.
Matthias apology tour.
Taz
Real.
next.
yeah. Yeah, don't you worry. I'm in for a conversation with you, baby.
No, I mean Matthias apologizing to Taz.
What am I
Oh, okay.
apologizing
I'm still coming for
for?
you.
What did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Apologize to Kiara, but Matthias didn't need to apologize to
Wait,
Kiara.
what am I?
That's just like
No,
seeing
you
Matthias
don't.
on his knees.
Yeah.
We have a few minutes left.
Oh.
We have a few minutes left. You have gathered your rooms, made your ways separately, and then, of course, you will come down for dinner at some point here in the tavern. Less folks are milling around. A few that you would notice in particular, there seems to be a large owlin, a very large owlin,
Oh, big
who
boy!
is kind of presiding over
Look at this guy.
by the bar talking to this dwarf. A few other
he's
just kind of
fucking
interesting
huge.
characters. Like I said, lots of dwarves. A pale-skinned half-elf with sort of a purple or bluish tone to their face. And then it seems like the owlin is particularly in conversation with another bearded dwarf who you might meet next time. But
Aw.
as most of the other tourists have kind of filtered out here, you've also been seeing and hearing like trades going on throughout the trade hall. You're kind of in that tavern section of the trade hall, so there's like markets and stalls that have shut down. The bartender, with that sort of reddish beard, steps over and pulls back some curtains behind the bar. And those like small candles and lights and things that you've seen kind of facing the outside or like this dim light on the inside brighten as behind this curtain is revealed a lantern. It's kind of imprinted in a glass formation with a similar symbol to the one that was outside of the tavern. So it's got this little like stained glass flame and then these two trees. And you see this lantern is sat in almost a small cavity altar of some kind. The lantern is lit. It gives off a warm, bright light, and it is set underneath a skull, an antlered skull. This bone shape that would be familiar to you, Matthias, coming down over and resting over the lantern, and then just sort of around this lantern, there are a number of small gifts that have been placed. You see a few platinum coins. You see an intricately carved piece of woodwork. You see, looks like some bits of food, some spices, bits of rosemary, thyme, stone, even a very, very small, almost like the size of a fingernail, ruby that's been placed underneath this skull. And the dwarf sort of gestures out. If anyone has anything to offer to the horned god to keep our lantern lit. And the owlin kind of steps over and then puts a coin down. The dwarf that he was talking to also steps over. Someone brings over a plate and just scrapes, kind of like cuts the best part of the meat off and then places it, kind of opens the lantern and burns it in the lantern. Things like that. People making these offerings before dinner. And Matthias, that skull that you've seen across villages, towns, the horned god, Gray, one of the faces that is familiar to the people of Valkyrie, an aspect of the one that you worship.
What more can I give?
That is where we will end our session for today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, you can find past episodes of Strange Hungers as well as our other shows on Total Party Kiss on our YouTube, which is at Total Party Kiss. Our Instagram and our Twitter are the same. I am not sure, but I think we have Tragedy of Theologian tomorrow.
Yes. There should be tragedy
evening.
tomorrow.
Fantastic. Serenity returns with our Greek-themed D&D campaign. We are super, super excited about that. I don't think we have any other announcements coming up for the channel, but as always, keep an eye out on our social media. A big thanks to Soundtail for our music, as well as One More Multiverse, which is what we have these beautiful maps in. And I think that is it for the time being. Anyone here have any streams or things that they want to announce coming up?
We're gonna raid Pixel Circus.
Yeah, Pixel Circus is having their 13-hour stream, so
Yes! We've got
Jesus.
some friends, so go
I
show
never
them some
remember.
love.
I never remember how I
Maybe
spelled.
you
No,
have
this is the right one.
Familiar face.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Hi, y'all. Every other Wednesday, I'm over on Starlight Tales. Playing another man whore, Corin. Not quite unlike Taz. So come watch that as well.
Go
And,
check out Starlight Tales. We love them.
Some of the Tuesdays and Februaries, I will be on Flights of Fandom on Manapot Studios playing the most ridiculous character in a Fast and Furious flight.
love it.
Ooh.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Family.
Awesome.
That's all I know.
Okay. I think that's us. Thank
All right,
you guys
everybody.
for watching, and have a good day.
See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.